Hi, welcome to Improved Hiring Processes from Lighthouse Consulting. I'm Phillip Duff, the president and founder of Lighthouse Consulting, and I'm glad you could join us today. I bet your current hiring process looks a little bit like this. You have the job that you're trying to fill, you're sending ads in the classified and online, and that you have a process, a ladder in which your candidate has got to climb to reach success. We're all in search of that perfect employee, but it's very difficult to find that employee to make the right choices when we're in this interview mode. We may end up with the perfect employee, or we may end up with Peggy from Prime Credit. Who knows? So you're looking for an employee. You put out a sign, you put out an ad, you take some applications, and then you make a decision on who you want to hire. Is that what your current process looks like? I've got a better idea. Let's find a way to make this a winning process. Let's turn it into something that's going to be have a much higher chance of success due to the fact we're not just making a decision based upon a short period of time with someone. We're using it based upon proper data. So let's get started with the improvements we're talking about here. The first part of the improvement is all of your advertisements for jobs. They lead to a phone number. They lead to what I'm going to call a job phone. So no matter what kind of ad you're putting out there, it's going to lead to a phone number. Well, no one's going to actually answer that phone number. That phone number is going to be out there, but there's going to be no one to answer it. They're going to think that they're going to get someone on the other end to talk to them, but instead, what they're going to get is a voicemail. That voicemail is going to tell them that, first of all, they need to leave a message. They need to leave information on how they can be reached. It's going to also tell us very quickly how can they deal with changes. Can they deal with this voicemail instead of a human being that they were expecting? This will give you a moment to assess the candidate's voice. See if you think they're a good candidate for debt collections. The next thing that this is going to do is it's going to send them to an online application, so that they so far have not interacted with anybody directly. They've left a message and they've been told to go online to fill out an application. This is going to allow to find out just exactly what their computer skill level is. Are they able to fill out the application online? So now we have a copy of their voice, we have a copy of their online application. We can find out if we're going to possibly get that great employee or that horrible employee. We can go in and do some reference checking, and the next thing we're going to be able to do is do some online screening. We're going to send that debtor to some online site where they can be evaluated or assessed. There's several companies out there that do these behavioral assessments. Give me a direct call and I'll give you who I think is the best out there. But they provide info on how the employee might fit the job and the culture of the company, how the employee learns, how they communicate, and it teaches you how to keep that employee very highly motivated. Next, you can go into the background check, and then once you have that, you have quite a bit of data. You can start to make some decisions and decide whether this candidate is going to meet your success requirements. So now you've got to the point, you have a lot of data, but you haven't really talked to the debtor. So let's talk about that. What's the next section? It's interview questions. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on interview questions because I think there's a lot of places you can get good interview questions. Also, some of these wonderful vendors that are doing the behavioral assessments, they come with interview questions. So the next stage is to do the interview. Invite the person in, meet them, talk to them directly. I like for people to have 2 interviews. I'd like them to speak to 2 different people within the organization so they can get together later and decide what they think about the candidate. So now you've met the candidate. Now you have a lot of data. You have a couple different people have talked to them, and it's time for the decision. If you've done a good job, then you can send them a message and tell them they've got the job. So let's review real quick. You're looking for a new employee, a new candidate. So you post a job ad. The job ad goes to a job phone, which is only answered by a recording. The recording sends them to an online application. The online application then is screened. You decide whether you're going to do any type of reference check. You're going to then do a behavioral assessment check. Then you're going to get some very good interview questions. You're going to do the interview. You're going to make a decision. and you're going to call and tell them they've got the job. I hope you got some value out of this. If you have further questions, just let me know. There's a lot of services that Lighthouse Consulting does. Let me know if you think you can find some benefit from giving us a call, talking to us. We would love to hear from you. I can be reached at 904-687-1687. Thank you very much.